Rumor has it that NASCAR could shrink their schedule down to 28 races in the next couple of years. Let's talk about that. How's it going, everybody? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. Lots to talk about in this episode. We have had no shortage of NASCAR news this week. We have a big driver announcement to react to. We got like 44 cars, I think, planning on attempting to qualify for the Daytona 500. We have a lot to talk about in this episode. Let's get to it. First, I want to talk about some news that came out yesterday. Fox Sports continues to add to their on-air NASCAR coverage. Yesterday, they announced that Lindsey Czarniak and Sarah Walsh will be joining NASCAR Race Hub Weekend Edition as on-air anchors. Now, this continues a trend we've seen over the last several weeks of Fox Sports kind of picking up the remains from ESPN. Lindsey Czarniak has experience anchoring NASCAR shows back during her time at ESPN. She also was a pit reporter during some of TNT's NASCAR coverage. Sarah Walsh was a SportsCenter anchor for ESPN the last 7 years. She actually joined Fox Sports last year during the NFL season as a sideline reporter. But this once again shows how NBC and then more recently Fox have really invested in their NASCAR coverage for the coming years. So this is exciting. Now, second bit of news that I saw actually 2 days ago, I believe, came from this tweet from Adam Stern. As you can see here, he's reported that NASCAR, for the first time in years, is going to spend millions of dollars on advertising outside of its own programming. And as you can see right there, they've apparently budgeted somewhere between $10 to $20 million on advertising outside of, its Fox and NBC affiliates. And I'll be honest, this kind of came as a shock to me that NASCAR didn't advertise on other networks or in other places. The fact that they've gone this long without doing that is kind of shocking to me. But hey, better late than never. It's good to see NASCAR continuing to invest in the future of the sport. Hopefully they use this money wisely. That's one thing I'm excited about with this new kind of aero package that we're going to see at intermediate tracks, with it kind of bunching up the racing, almost sort of creating like a simulated pack sort of racing at some of these tracks. I feel like casual fans, or maybe people that don't know that much about NASCAR, when they tune in and see that type of racing more often, I feel like they might be more enticed to stay on the channel and maybe watch and maybe get into it. Versus recent years where if a casual sports fan flipped over to a Texas Motor Speedway race and saw the cars 5 seconds apart, they probably wouldn't stay on the channel for very long. So I applaud NASCAR for doing this. Hopefully it works out, and I think the new aero package could maybe be a part of this. Now let's talk about some actual racing. The Daytona 500 is less than 2 weeks away. In fact, this weekend we have the Clash at Daytona. And earlier this week, the entry list for the Clash was made official. You can see the list of drivers right here. That you become eligible for this race by winning a pole in the season prior. Also, you got some former Daytona 500 champions in there like Jamie McMurray, Ryan Newman. You also have former Daytona 500 pole award winners. That's how Jimmy Johnson and Austin Dillon made it on this list. And then also you make it into the Clash by making the playoffs the year before. That's how Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, and Brad Keselowski made it in. So as you can see from that list, a lot of NASCAR's biggest stars are going to be in this race. It's kind of like a preseason all-star race, and more often than not, it's more fun than the all-star race. A great way to kick off the season. That is Sunday afternoon. But now let's also talk about the Daytona 500. We don't have a definite entry list for that race yet. It's still about, 10 days away, 11 days away? But we are starting to get an idea of which drivers are going to be trying to make the race this year. From what I've seen, it looks like we have about 44 drivers and teams currently entered in the race that are going to try to qualify for the 500. Remember, there's only 40 spots, and there's 36 chartered teams that already have a confirmed spot in the race. So right now it looks like we have about 8 drivers competing for the final 4 transfer spots to make it in the big show. Brendan Gaughan, Ryan Truex, Parker Kligerman, Tanner Berryhill, Joey Gase, and JJ Yeley are among drivers that are going to be looking to transfer into the race. And then there's some other drivers that have been more recently announced, like Tyler Reddick, it was confirmed earlier this week, is going to attempt to qualify for the Daytona 500 for Richard Childress Racing. He's going to be driving the 31 car. So he's going to be trying to get in the big show, as well as another major announcement from just yesterday. Casey Mears is coming back. He is going to try to qualify for the Daytona 500. He's going to be driving the number 27 car for Germain Racing, affiliated also with Premium Motorsports. He's going to attempt to qualify for the 500. We haven't seen Casey Mears in a Cup Series race car in almost 3 years. 2016 was his last season, and he was then kind of let go to make room for Ty Dillon in that 13 car. So it's kind of interesting to see Germain Racing kind of giving him another opportunity. I mean, I don't know, Casey Mears is a veteran. He's, had his time in NASCAR. He's had his successes. This is probably just a one-off race for him, but still really cool to see a veteran kind of come out of retirement, so to speak, to have one last shot at maybe a huge prize. Like I said, to Germain Racing car, and Pat Tryson is going to be the crew chief. So you got some veterans working together. That team might make noise. You never know. We've seen crazier things happen in this race. So anyway, as you can see, it looks like we have about 44 drivers looking to make the 40-car field for the Daytona 500. That means that the way it looks right now, those dual races on Thursday, next week, are going to be pretty wild. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this episode, I went ahead and saved it for the end because, it's mainly just rumors. Not a lot lot of hard facts to report on here, but I saw a report the other day of rumors that suggest that NASCAR could shrink the current Cup Series schedule down from 36 races to 28 races as soon as 2021. Current contracts really prevent NASCAR from making any major tweaks to the schedule until 2021. And apparently this report suggests that there's been rumors that we could see as many as 8 races possibly cut from the schedule. We've talked on this show recently about how maybe it would be a good decision for NASCAR to maybe shorten the schedule a little bit. It's 36 races plus a couple exhibition races. You know, at the end of the day, it's like a 40-week season almost. Cutting the schedule down from 36, maybe down to around 32, you know, I'm in favor of. I've suggested that would be a good idea. 28 races seems like a little bit of a leap. I don't know if I'm super into that idea. I do think having a longer off season might help build hype for the next season. You know, I think that could be a good thing. And also by cutting it to 28 means that, you know, you cut into the NFL season less at the end of the season, so that helps ratings perhaps. But at the end of the day, I like NASCAR and I like racing, so I don't want to have less of that, you know, not too much less at least. But now before you get too concerned that they're taking away your NASCAR President Steve Phelps did address these rumors. In regards to the 2021 and beyond schedule, he said, "There is no number that's out there. I would say our schedule is not going to increase, but I don't actually know in 2021 whether we will have fewer races." When I hear him say that, you know, yeah, it makes me think it's pretty unlikely that NASCAR is going to make any major cuts just in the next few years. Could we see the schedule drop down to 28 races at some point? Yeah, maybe 5, 10, 15 years, maybe it gets to that point, hopefully not. But from the sounds of it, NASCAR still very well might have a 36 race schedule in 2021. You know, we'll see. It sounds like they haven't made any final decisions, which means these rumors likely don't have much merit. That being said, let me know down in the comments, would you like NASCAR to shrink the schedule a little bit? What tracks would you like to see come back? I did a video a few weeks ago where I gave you guys my perfect NASCAR schedule, and in that schedule, I shrunk the schedule down to 32 races. I think that would be a perfect number, but let me know what you guys think down below. That's all for today's episode of Out of the Groove. Thank you all for watching. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out my profiles. Those links are down below. Get yourself an Out of the Groove t-shirt if you would like to support the show. Also a P.O. box if you want to send me some cool NASCAR stuff. I will show it off and shout you out in an upcoming video. I should have that out maybe by this weekend. I'll do another one of those, so send in your stuff quick. And then of course a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters: Michael Harrison at GWiz of the Stars, Mentally Defective, SelfishGifts.com, Cameron James, Tice Moore, John Koblenz, Tim Shingen, Jason R. Long, Wesley Donaldson, and iFantasyRace.com, and the rest of these amazing supporters. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the show. It helps me out a ton, and it helps the show continue to improve and continue to get bigger and better, so thank you so very much for your continued support. Got some things in the works, hopefully for next week. Can't say anything about it too much yet, but I think you guys will be very excited when you see what I have planned. That's all I can say. Thanks for watching again. I'll have another episode up probably later this week. I just threw my phone on the ground, so that means it's time for me to stop recording. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. See you guys soon.